Have you ever wondered what goes bump in the night? What could be lurking round the corner? What shadows are waiting for us in the dark? Why we feel like we are being watched by the mysterious eyes of an unknown entity? When all rational explanations have been exhausted, it only leaves one explanation: the paranormal. Take a journey into the realm of the paranormal with your hosts, Damon, Penney, and Ben Winfield. We explore all things paranormal, from mediums to apparitions, from orbs to the occult, from demons to angels, and everything in between. So strap in and join us as we explore into the unknown. And don't forget, things can get a little strange. The Other Dimension Show, on Pulse Talk Radio.
Welcome one and all. It's here, it's finally time, it's the debut show, it's the Other Dimension Show. I cannot believe we actually made it live. Craziness after all we've gone through. Now, for everybody that's looking in, this is a brand new show for you, and this is how we're doing it. So it is completely uncensored. We're talking paranormal, demons, angels, orbs, everything. We're going to have special guests on the show. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So thank you very much out to Kawa, who actually set this all up for us. Now, let me just explain something to you guys out there who are locking in for the first time. No paranormal superhero is complete without a sidekick. Now, my co-host tonight, some might say that he once ordered a phony pizza to Lucifer's front door. He is the one, the only, Mr. Ben Winfield. Welcome, Ben.
Hello.
Got a nice little crowd here. How you doing, mate?
I'm all good, apart from I'm starting to still sound like the Stig of the paranormal world.
Well, for everyone out there, Ben's not the Stig. We call him the librarian. So, you know.
Only because I still use books, where everyone uses technology nowadays.
Yeah, he still, instead of using a calculator, he still uses an abacus. That's all we've got to say about Ben. But yeah, introducing ourselves, you know, we're both heavily demonologists. Ben's also an occultologist, and we're here, and what we're doing is going to give you all the information you need. We're going to talk about different subjects every week, and we're just going to get into it. Now, if you do want to get interactive with the show, if you want to send us a message and you want to get involved with the show, if you have any questions or you want to shout out or you just want to turn around and just troll the hell out of us, it's fine. All you have to do is head over to our page on Facebook. That's www.facebook.com/TOD Paranormal, right? That's TOD Paranormal. Now, also, if you stick a status up, hashtag us, one other dimension, and it will pop up there on our Facebook and we'll be able to shout out. Now, I spoke to Ben during the week and I said, look, mate, it's our first show. I want to go with something quite soft, just to sort of break the ice to all the people out there that are locking in. So we come up with talking about demonic hierarchy tonight.
Just a nice subject to start off with.
Yeah, and something it's nice and soft, just to get us going. Now,
you're the one that goes to a restaurant, aren't you, and orders a main as a starter?
Oh, damn right. I go straight in with the cheeseburger, right, then followed by the ribs, and then I get to my main course. So, oh, it's brilliant. Yeah, so let's talk about demonic hierarchy. Now, with demonic hierarchy, there's so many out there. There's so many different hierarchies out there, and I think it's all down to perception and how you see it yourself. And I think people need to understand that it depends on the perception you look at. I mean, you've got Solomon's Key, you've got the Winfield theories, but Ben digs deep into this, and he's got some really cool stuff to sort of bring to the table, especially when it comes to demonic hierarchy. So where do you want to start, Ben?
Well, currently sat in front of me, I've got 14 different hierarchy systems over this state of, say, pre-Christianity all the way up to the 18th century, where the cultology really swapped over.
Yeah.
It was
18th century, is that John Dee sort of time?
That's when John Dee came massive. Yeah, it was the advisor to Queen Elizabeth. That's when cultology became more of an accepted thing. You had alchemy and that lot started to come up again.
Yeah.
We were stepping out of the Dark Ages.
Yeah. See, I was always under the impression that John Dee was the advisor to like James I, so I was completely well off with that.
No, it was later on.
Yeah. Right, so if we start with the standard hierarchy, so I mean, I don't even know what standard is now. I've been through so many different ones. I don't even know what standard is.
The standard hierarchy, I'd say, everyone knows it. It's Lucifer or Satan, and then down to his. I think most people say Beelzebub after that.
Yeah,
and then down onto fewer there.
I tell you what was really cool. I read a book. Well, I didn't say I read a book. I went on Audible and I downloaded this thing called The Sandman, right? And in there, he has to. It's all based around dream, like the Sandman's dream, and he one of 5 brothers and sisters. He has to go to hell to fetch his helmet. And down in hell, he goes down there, and the whole hierarchy is changed, and it's actually a 3-way battle for first. You're between Lucifer, Beelzebub, and I think it's Asmodeus.
Yeah. There was an actual case of that. I'm trying to remember now. I think it was 14th century. There was something like that popped up in cultology just for a short while before disappearing again. Yeah.
I mean, when we look at demonic hierarchy, there's a few of them. One of them pops to mind is the Lantern of Light classification of demons, which was in the 13th century. An English lord, I think his name was John Wycliffe, and he had this classification system based around the 7 deadly sins. So Lucifer was pride, Beelzebub was envy, Satan was wrath, Abaddon sloth, Mammon was greed, gluttony was Belphegor, and lust was Asmodeus.
That was actually bang on. I know it's in here somewhere, but that was actually bang on. To be fair,
that is literally the only thing I memorised from my research.
No, that is bang on. That's one of the many ones that get used. But you've got loads. Obviously, you've got Dante's. Everyone knows of Dante Inferno's list. It's probably one of the most famous ones that gets used. But again, there's loads more from that.
Yeah, I mean, you've got everyone talks about the Beinfeld classification of demons. That seems to be the go-to one for people, like this whole Beinfeld thing. Never come across it in the whole time of doing this. I've never ever come across it. So
it's one of these. I'd say it's a more popular one with people that don't. No offense to anyone that does, but people that don't really want to study much.
Yeah, I mean, you go into Wiki and you type in demonic hierarchy, the Beinfeld one, and the key of Solomon comes up straight away. But I want to dive into tonight the actual classifications that people haven't heard of.
Yeah.
So, what's your earliest one you got?
The earliest one I have would be the original hierarchy system, where it comes to Baal being at top. And then it goes down to, you've got Asmon, and you've got As, then you've got Person. You have to bear with me, by the way. Prior warning, my accent is terrible.
It's all good. There's Google Translate now.
Yeah, I think you need that for most Northerners and East Midlanders. And then you've obviously from there also above that you've got the Titans, which are pre-Greek ones as well, because you get people like Baal mentioned in it. But probably say the the earliest one we've got is the Sumerian one.
Yeah.
Which still features, you had Baal, I have to try and pronounce this, Eleth. So I do have an associate with me who's quite helpful. My assistant, my lovely lady, sat here keeping my brain afloat. But with the old schools, a lot of it is more gods than actual demonic ranking systems.
Yeah.
As we spoke about this before.
Yeah. I mean, everyone knows the story of the Titans. Obviously, you know, Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades imprisoned them in Tartarus and all that sort of thing. Basically, the Greeks and the Romans were pagans, weren't they? Because they worshipped many gods.
There wasn't a great deal of difference between the pagan Roman and pagan Greek, in a sense. The only thing that changed were the names. Yeah.
I mean, pagan is the word that describes somebody who worships many gods, really.
To be honest, it was. Well, pagan does mean multiple gods, in a sense.
Yeah.
It's the weird crossover with Wicca and stuff like that.
Oh, don't get me started on Wiccas. I love Wiccas. I know a lot of Wiccas, but I think some of them have taken this new age Wiccanry to a new level of craziness.
Yeah, you know? there is some hyped out there, to be fair.
I mean, shouts out to everyone who's locked in. Don't forget, if you do want to shout out, hit us up, facebook.com/TOD paranormal, and we'll get you shouted out on here. If you've got any questions, just hit them up. Now, let's get into the demonic hierarchy properly. Now, in front of me, I've got something called Spiina's classification of demons. And this is where a classification of demons is based on several different criteria. So you've got demons of fate, incubi and succubi, familiars, druids, demons that attack the saints, demons that try to include old women to attend witches' sabbaths. I mean, it's quite an old one. It's 1467. So
yeah. It's the same as I've got probably a more updated version of that, which is demons listed by purpose and rulership.
Yes.
You've got the demons that deal with health, demons deal with hate, anger, vengeance. There's the ones that deal with love, compassion, relationships. And you've got the money, property, luck, and then the knowledge, secrets, and sorcery ones. Yeah.
I mean, when you actually look at it, like I was saying, the main one that seems to be at the top is obviously Satan, Lucifer, and Beelzebub. But you also have like Astaroth and Asmodeus popping in there from time to time.
The thing is, though, when you actually look back at the original Bible, Lucifer and Satan aren't actually classed as demonics.
Yeah. I mean,
they're never really referred to as actual demons.
They were seraphim to start with, weren't they?
Yeah. They were the hierarchy of angelic ranking system, to be honest.
When you look at the angel hierarchy, you have seraphim, you have cherubim, and Lucifer and Satan were classed as seraphim, but they're actually fallen angels, because there's a different class when it comes to demons, isn't there? Like, because you have demons that are demons, and then you have demons that are fallen angels.
Yeah, you have the fallen angel order, which is the one most people hear of. Then you have the hierarchy demonic system, which everyone tends to get mixed up.
Yeah.
So you do have Lucifer, which is the fallen angel, but they classify him as a demon, where he's not actually a demon.
Yeah.
That's why if you look at the old school, like the really old demonic listings, you've usually got people like Asmon or Baal at the top.
So, people confuse Baal with Moloch, don't they? A lot.
Yeah. It's a very big misconception that people get between Baal and Moloch. Moloch was actually, I think he was Carthaginian era, out towards Spain sort of way, when his first appearance came. He resembles a bull.
Yeah.
Whereas when you look back at the ancient text, Baal is pictured as an old man sometimes.
Yeah.
If not most of the time.
And Moloch was the one that enticed the people to sacrifice children, am I right?
Yeah, he was the one that they made a statue out of him, had a fire at his feet, and babies were tossed into it as sacrifice for him.
Craziness. These ancient guys were just beyond fucked up. Do you know what I mean? It was like they had to
You look at some of the old sacrifices for, a volcano is going to explode and kill our people. Oh no, we'll get some women that are virgins. We'll throw them in. That will stop it.
Yeah, they haven't quite experienced life in its fullest, so they're okay. We can get rid of them. They're not experienced.
Yeah, pretty much.
Didn't they try that at Pompeii?
Yeah, they tried it, and well, we all know how that story ended.
Can you imagine being on the mountain at Pompeii and you're just like, right, throw the virgins in, throw them in. They throw them in and they're like, maybe they wasn't virgins.
Yeah. I have to say, though, when I always mention this whenever anyone gets onto the subject of Pompeii, I still have to say credit to, and I can't remember his name and I feel really bad for it, is the bloke that stood on the side of Mount St. Helens to take the video and the footage of it exploding.
Yeah. Mate, you got to have some big bollocks to do shit like that.
He died, bless him, but still, full credit to the guy.
He's like, what's his name? Woody Allen in 2012. No, what's that film?
Yeah, 2012. Yeah,
2012. Yeah, where he just stood on the mountain.
Just not as crazy.
Yeah, and less gherkins.
Yeah. But there was to go back onto the demonic side of stuff. Yeah. There was a gentleman I found whilst I was doing my studying. He tried to reenact a blood magic sacrifice with demonics by using himself as the sacrifice. He managed to get halfway through painting the pentagram before he died.
You got to be joking. What?
No, this was an actual case. I think it was 1632, if I remember correctly.
What the hell?
Yeah.
That's just nuts. Like,
ironically, they hung him when they found him for witchcraft.
What, when he was already like near enough dead because he couldn't finish off his pentagram?
Yeah, they hung him off. I can't remember which bridge. It was a small bridge. It was in a town further up north. They hung him off a bridge just to make sure the corpse wouldn't come back.
Just craziness. So let's drop some knowledge on people now. Pick one of your hierarchies and let's get into this and let's have a proper chat about it.
Right. What do we want? What should we go for?
Go for it. Just you've got loads of books there. Just throw a dart and pick one.
We will go for. We'll go for D. Placence. Mm-hmm. This was a French guy. Trying to remember. I think it was 1589. 1589. And he had 7 people as the princes of hell.
All right. Okay.
Obviously, as we know, when it comes to sacred numbers, when it comes to a lot of orders, it's either you usually have 1, 3, and then 7.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. So on this one, you've got obviously Asmon is ranked as the destroyer on this, is the top dog.
Right.
Then you've got Themonth, demon of induction.
Mm-hmm.
And then further down, we've got Andreas.
Mm-hmm.
Great hell and causer of discord.
Mm.
You've got obviously the old favourite, Beelzebub.
Yeah, like a fly.
Lord of the Flies.
Yeah.
And then you've got another demonic called Ronwi.
Really?
These are the actual names. You'll have to bear with me while I'm trying to pronounce them.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, these are the actual names. He is demonic of knowledge.
Oh, okay.
Then you've got you're on back.
Yorenbeck.
Yeah, that's the one.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is why I have you, and this is why I have Lou to help me try and understand when I can't even read my own writing. He is Order of the Lower Demons, so he would have been your what will get called lesser demonics, as I'm pretty sure we'll explain later on when it comes to our own ranking systems and stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
And then the last one, if I've read this properly, is Astaroth, your favourite.
Yes.
Who is obtainer of friendships and great lords.
The reason I like Astaroth is he was the one that come to Earth and taught the humans about astronomy.
Yeah.
He was like a super duper science magician of astrology. It's just like Joe, when you was talking about the different classifications of fallen angels and demons, I've just come across one. I remember I just typed it up. Have you ever heard of like the Michaelis classification of demons?
I think so. Long time ago though.
I mean, I wasn't 100% brushed up on it, so I thought I'd have a little search, and I've come across on Wiki, and it says in 1613, Sebastian Michaelis wrote a book, Admirable History, which included a classification of demons, as it was told by the demon Berith, when he was exercising a nun. And this has different hierarchies. Now, the first hierarchy includes angels that were seraphim, cherubim, and thrones. So it backs up your theory, or our theory, of the fact of the biblical way in which people describe demons. They don't differentiate between fallen angels and demons, even though there is a different classification of both.
Yeah, well, you look at angelics, as me and you have said on our previous shows. Everyone, when you say to anyone about an angel, they think of the heavenly person with wings and that lot. You look back in like the Book of Enoch and look at angels. They are scary. They're scarier more than demonics.
100%. I mean, anything that can spawn a race of Nephilim, like giant people that are like 8 foot tall that eat humans, they can't be that good. You know what I mean?
No, I think they're on a rung down, aren't they? Just below lawyers.
Yeah, and them guys that sort of walk around and deliver you these pizza leaflets that you don't really need. They're along the same sort of lines. Now, when we talk about the ancient things, the ancient sort of hierarchies, a lot of them are actually explained by the demonics themselves, people that are possessed, and when they pull them out of these people, they sort of explain the hierarchy, don't they?
Yeah, but you've got the case of the order of Loudun, which was a very famous case. In fact, I think, if I'm not mistaken, which I may be, so I'm going to put my hands up and say I'm not 100% on this.
Right.
Loudun was a place in France where the possessions of nuns was taken. It was 1566.
Right.
Now, I'm not sure if that's the film The Nun is based on.
It might be. I don't know. I'm trying to search it. See if we can get there.
The date was 1566. It was in France. That was said to be quite a heavy case. The whole nunnery was taken possession.
I mean, go for it, mate. Hit us up with this, because I can't seem to find it.
Yeah, I've got. Well, what I found was basically there were 6 demonics that were involved in that time.
Right.
By the way, if anyone is interested in any of this information, I will put it up on the page for anyone to have a nosy.
Yeah, definitely.
So you've got a few other names that I'm not even going to try and pronounce, because I may insult people trying to pronounce them, because some of them are a bit more Hebrew and Latin way.
Yeah.
But again, in this case, you've got Asmodeus is there. You've got Beelzebub there. So you've got the two of the high hitters.
Yeah.
You've got one of my all-time favourite demonics, which is Ortho.
Ortho?
Now, Ortho is a well-known, not widely known demonic, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Now,
Ortho was also a case in France involving a satanic masonry cult, and that was in the 19th century. Sorry, Italy, that one even. My apologies.
Yeah.
Now, Ortho is also the first demon that's mentioned in the Testament of Solomon. He was the demon that was sucking the young lad's thumb.
Right.
The young lad went to King Solomon, and this is how the story starts, where King Solomon was given a ring by God to control this demon for this Ortho to go and bring back. I think it was Beelzebub was the first one mentioned to come and start doing stuff.
Right.
But you start to see more and more patterns over the years. The more cases you look into, the more certain names come up.
Yeah.
And I think that's how we ended up with a basis of a hierarchy system that kind of gets used a lot, with certain people being involved in all of the ranking systems.
Right. Yeah. It does make sense. It's almost like ranking by popularization.
Yeah, in a sense. You've always got Asmon, you've always got Beelzebub, you've always got Bord, you've always got certain people.
Yeah. I mean, and when you look at it, like, demonics do follow a trend. Like, we always talk about it on the other shows, where the Conjuring come out, and it was always Valak. I mean, you was getting contacted with cases of Valak being the one doing the possession. It might not necessarily be that.
Yeah, well, you have to look back. You've got three well-known demonics that have always popped up.
Yeah.
Which is Pazuzu, Zozo,
Kamazost.
And then you've had Valak. Now, Pazuzu only started when Ghostbusters come out.
Yeah.
Because Pazuzu was in that.
Yeah, we had a case of Pazuzu, didn't we?
Yeah. Then you had Zozo, which started. I think there was one case someone bumped into him, and then since then it's just gone on and on and on and on, became a big thing.
It was made famous by Ghost Adventures, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then you've got Valak, who's become big since the Conjuring films.
Yeah, the Conjuring 2. I'm looking forward to the third one. It's going to be good. Yeah,
I have to say, they are quite good, interesting films.
Yeah. Do you know what? I read an interview with one of the guys that studied underneath the Warrens, and he even said the Conjuring films are well embellished.
Yeah, they are, massively, compared to what the... It probably sounds bad saying it, but I think they would be a little bit ashamed of how them films have portrayed them.
Yeah, and a lot of people are giving them stick at the moment on Facebook and social media about how Amityville wasn't Amityville, and the original Conjuring with Andrea Perron, who was featured on Pulse a couple of weeks ago, it wasn't what happened, didn't happen, because they're basing it on the films and the embellishment of the films.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at Lorraine Warren, she had it confirmed that she had ESP, extrasensory perception.
Yeah.
You know, it was confirmed by UCLA. These are people that go out of their way to study things that are beyond their understanding.
Yeah.
Like people like me and you, that's what we do for a living. We try to understand things that we're not supposed to understand, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we go the extra. The first thing we do, which always shocks people, is we always look for the scientific approach first.
Yeah, 100%.
Which a lot is forgotten a lot of the time. The Warrens still actually did that. They looked for the scientific approach first.
Yeah. It's when you look at it through in that way, and you look at the science approach first, it sort of takes out everything else. You know, you've got to look at things from the science approach first, especially when you're dealing with what we're dealing with, because like I always say to people, auto-suggestion plays a massive part in anything. For instance, if I was to say to a group of public that were coming out on an event, and I was invited there as a special guest, and I was to go, look, there's about 50 witches in that room, so you're just going to go off in that room, I guarantee you when they go in that room, it will go off, and they'll hear cackling, and they'll hear nails, and they will feel cold, because that auto-suggestion has already been suggested to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I wanted to get your opinion on something, right? Because you've done a lot of studying with the hierarchy and that. You're well ahead of me with it. Have you heard of the story of Annalise Michel?
The name's ringing bells.
Right, Annalise Michel was the original story of the exorcism of Emily Rose. Yes,
yeah. The basically that film was hyped up as well.
Yeah.
It's only recently they've been made public that it was her, haven't they? It was protected.
But have you heard the original tapes? Have you heard the original tapes in the investigation? Yeah. Have you heard when it says, "I'm Hitler, I'm..." Oh, there was one where it's like an old priest who was pushed away from the church. So do you think people that have been evil in life can become demonic on the afterlife?
I've had this question asked quite a few times. The thing is, and this is where I get onto with the paranormal, and I do kind of upset a lot of groups with this.
Yeah.
A person can't become a demonic.
100%.
Same as a demonic can't become a person. But if you're a sick, twisted person in life,
you're
going to be the same after death. And this is where you get negative spirits.
100%.
Now, negative spirits know how to react. They know what scares you. And people are scared of demonics.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to an actual demon attack, without mentioning, I can't mention names because obviously this was a case quite recently. The one I did in Wales, sent you the photos.
Yes, I remember that.
There is no 3 scratch marks anywhere on her.
All right.
If you look through the photos, there's no mark of 3, as they call it. Now, if you're a negative spirit and you say you've been around for, I don't know, the past 50 years. Yeah. And you know that doing 3 scratch marks on someone would make them fear you instantly because they'll think you're a demonic. You're going to pretend to be a demon.
Yeah, to cause the fear, to feed the energy.
Yeah. Again, this is what can link back to the subject we were on where it comes to the hierarchies. Any spirit can pretend to be a hierarchy. Unless you've done your studying and you know the little ticks or quirks that they bring. Yeah. They're like signature features. Yeah. You are going to be dealing with something that isn't.
Yeah, no, 100%. And the other point to come across there is that if you look at the demonic in a biblical sense, they possess humans because they need that vessel. So why, if they could become human, why would they possess?
Yeah, and that's the thing. When it comes to it, when you actually look down properly at demonics in a sense, it's not. You never hear of hierarch demonics possessing people. No, because when you take it to the scientific state, you look at like the electrical magnetic field of things. Yeah, you can't shove any more power into a battery if it's already full.
Yeah, 100%.
So if you imagine a human is basically, I don't know, a AA battery. Yeah. you've got the hierarchy demonic that are the equivalent of like a car battery. You shove that energy into a AA battery, they're going to explode.
Yeah, you're going to end up with a lot of battery acid everywhere.
Yeah.
Now,
you can have what's known as like a half possession, which is sub-controlling the body.
yes.
So it's when people tend to fall asleep.
Or the ringing noise in the ear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a few of them. It's been quite popular at the moment. I've had like 2 of them in the last 3 or 4 weeks. It's been mad. Carl, the boss, he said that he's a clairvoyant, and he still asks questions today, and it's been with him since birth. But he believes if you have to be some sort of murderer or that sort of person to turn into a demonic. Now, like you were saying, that would make a negative spirit, but you can't become a demonic.
I can understand where Carl's coming from, because there is the basic law of life. If you take life, your life basically becomes forfeited. Yeah. There is a theory, even going about what I've said, because even I always say, and you know this, no one's an expert.
No.
Even I'm still learning, and there is other cases, and there is a person that did suggest a while ago that when you kill someone and take their life, you no longer become human.
Right.
You, in a sense, become what would be considered not a lesser demonic, but say the lowest rank of demonics.
Like a monster or a druid. Yeah. Yeah.
Something that has no life. You're basically just a mindless creature in a sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would partially go with what Carl was saying.
Almost like an abyssal chicken.
Yeah, you're abyssal chickens basically.
Yeah.
You'd basically become a drone.
Yeah. For everyone out there that don't, that's a little personal joke. Before we started the show, we was going through like this mad inter-realm demonic hierarchy, and I managed to come across something called an abyssal chicken. And it's a demon creature, but it doesn't resemble a chicken whatsoever. So it's absolutely
it's the top
nuts.
part of a headless chicken. It's just the head rolling
down. Oh, it's just mad. It's just mad. Some of the stuff you can come across on the internet is just crazy. Now, when we talk about like demonic hierarchies and we talk about how they're sort of formed, I've heard from a lot of people that Zozo's top. You know, he's the only one that's allowed to contact humans and have contact with humans through a board. Now, my answer to that is that's a load of crap.
I can give you the name of the demonic. It's all right. Lou's showed me a photo of an abyssal chicken. I'm going to have to put it on the page for people to see, because this is
100%.
For those of you that won't be able to see, it is basically, imagine a chicken, but its face is where its butt is.
So if you guys are interested in seeing what an abyssal chicken is, head over facebook.com/TOD paranormal, and we'll be uploading it after the show.
Yeah. Anyway, back to subject. When it comes to Zoe, is people don't realise that Zoe's actually he's a mimic.
Me and you spoke about this a lot.
Yeah. I've had quite a few cases about this. A friend of mine keeps referring to me as the expert in Zoe, which kind of makes me laugh. Basically, Zoe is a mimic. He reads off everything you are. The real Zoe, if you could count as a real Zoe, his name is said differently. I won't say it on the air because it will causes a few problems.
Yeah.
But he's a Mexican demonic, isn't it? He's basically an Aztec demonic.
The death bat.
Not the death bat. That's a different one.
Not the death bat.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's loads that get confused and mixed up.
Yeah, and that's the thing. What people don't realise, the one that got me the other day was the ones that have the proper names. Like there's one that's called Dan, and there's one that's called Amy as well.
Yeah, there's one of the hierarchy of the 72 demonics. Solomon's is called Amy.
Yes.
There's also a demonic out there called Bob.
That's such a quality name. That
That
is going to install fear.
Come across a demonic called Bob.
Can you imagine being possessed, right? And you've got this priest doing an exorcism and he's asking questions like, "Who are you, demon?" And you're like, "I'm Bob."
Yeah. Well, you have to look at the hierarchy system again. One of the demonic hierarchy systems. One of the kings of the Solomon demonics is called Vine.
Yeah, I've heard about that. And do you know what?
Yeah.
I found out. Do you remember when we had that big craze about 2 years ago when people were putting up vines? Do you remember?
Yeah.
That was actually based on the demonic.
Yeah. Would not surprise me.
No, the first ever vine that come out was something to do with something demonic. So yeah.
It was the Charlie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember Charlie.
Yeah, the Charlie, that was more psychological than paranormal. A friend of mine, she is a psychiatrist and one of these, I can never pronounce it, but she does all into your brain and how it works and stuff.
Yeah.
The problem with that is it was auto-suggestion. A lot of people were hyping up, expecting something, and they got what they expected.
Almost like Slender Man.
Yeah. Slender Man, again, prime example.
Yeah.
People think Slender Man's real. It wasn't. It was created.
Yeah, no, he was. He was a fictional character, and people believed so much. Them two girls took that other young girl into the forest and sacrificed him to Slender Man. Yeah. This is where it gets dangerous. That's where it gets dangerous when you like openly believe in what you're reading. You know.
Yeah. I have to say one of the most funny but I have to say dark thing as well when you get to cultology is when it comes to Satan sacrifice.
Yeah.
They always use chickens.
Abyssal chickens?
Yeah. They might as well. I don't understand why people use chickens as a sacrifice. I never have done.
Maybe
it's animal cruelty.
I don't know. But yeah, right. Now we're getting into the last 15 minutes of the show. We've got to do the one to watch. Every week, me and Ben are going to be picking either a paranormal team or a medium or someone that works within the paranormal field. The people we think are the ones to watch. Now, let me just play me little jingle, so give me a second.
The one to watch.
Now, this week we're talking about the ones to watch. Now, the ones... I don't know, do you want to go first, Ben? Oh, hold on. I've got you turned down. Try that again. Should you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Go on then, mate.
There is a young team that me and Lou have started working with. They are probably the youngest team I know of. They're all, 17? Between 19 and 17? Yeah, 17, 19-year-olds.
Right.
Except for one of their senior members, Paul, is an elderly gentleman. Not too old, but we'll say elderly gentleman.
Right.
Paul will probably kill me next time I see him. They're called Mystic Paranormal. Now, these young guys and girls are going out with none of this modern technology or anything like that. They're going out and doing it the proper way.
Brilliant.
they show so much respect that is lost a lot of the time now in paranormal adventures that people go out on.
Yeah.
And I just want to give them a shout out for that, because they've been such a pleasure, and they're always growing more and more. And it's nice to see a young paranormal group out there.
You don't really come across that nowadays.
No, that's why I think they deserve a shout out. They do have their own Facebook page. I will put a link up on the page for them.
Definitely. I mean, what was the name again?
Mystic Paranormal.
Mystic Paranormal.
UK.
So if you're locked in now, you've got Facebook open, top search bar, search here, Mystic Paranormal UK. And big shouts out to you guys. Doing some good work in the field. 100%. Right, my ones to watch. I want to feature something this week that's... I've never come across it before. I experienced it twice on my other show on the Demonologist UK on a Friday when I do my live shows. It's two people. You've got Craig Maloney and Craig Maloney. And these guys do Kabbalistic readings, and they do something called Lifting the Veil. Have you heard it?
I've watched a few times, haven't I?
Yeah, but what they do is they use like an old radio, and they sort of even like sort of transfer energy into like this old radio. And Kay also does live readings. I had a Kabbalistic reading from her live on my show, and spot on. And then I had one again doing live readings for the listeners that were locked in, and spot on, like bang on. But she does it in such a different way, where the card she pulls out, it's not just the card she pulls out, it's the imagery, it's the colours, and she sort of bases the whole reading around that. So I want to give them guys, out to the Maloney's, Kay and Craig, this week's my one to watch. So if you want to check them out, facebook.com/Kabbalah and Mediumship. So I'll put the link up on the page when we finish. So yeah,
I'll have to get in touch with them, because I'll have to send her that book as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've been talking about getting them on the show. They're looking forward to coming on the show, and you need to speak to your guys as well and get them on the show as well, because it'd be great to have them on there.
Yeah, I'll have a word with them. It'll be nice to have them on. Yeah,
definitely. We're going to be featuring interviews on the show, but you are going to get me and Ben a lot of the time just shooting whatever conversations we can.
I'm going to have to admit as well, it's going to be like the show we did during the lockdown. I am going to be like at different locations as well most nights.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool. I mean, Zoom works. It's all good.
Is it 2 weeks? 2 weeks, isn't it? 2 weeks. I'll be doing the show from Edinburgh, as we'll be going into Edinburgh Vaults at midnight till 6 o'clock.
Oh yeah, you're going with Horton, Scotland, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah. Big shouts out to Robbie Crossan.
Yeah, Robbie's a good lad.
Yeah, he's funny as well. He's funny.
Yeah.
Now, as we finish up here, I mean, you've got the ones to watch. We'll be sticking the links up on our page. Head over to facebook.com/TOD Paranormal. It'll all be up on there. Ben's going to put up some hierarchy links. I'm going to put up some hierarchy links that I've got. Now, I just want to get to one last subject before we finish the show. Now, when you talk about hierarchy, we talk about things like the Forgotten Realms. And we talk about stuff like subcategories, but all to do with the Abyss.
Yeah.
Now, when you look at that, you get like these different subcategories of demons. You get like Oberith, which are like the oldest of demonic races. They were the creatures that controlled chaos and insanity, and they come from a completely different reality than the other demons. And you've got the Lumaro as well, which are the youngest demonic race, and they consist of like immaterial beings that possess people and creatures. I mean, what's your experience with these sort of interdimensional beings?
Well, I'm a bit loosely on that, because mine are more like the jinn and the elders, people like big names that people haven't heard is like people like Dicarian and Castiana.
Yes.
More the ancient world out towards the Middle East and the sands of the Sahara, places like that.
Like the Tenanari.
Yeah, I think me and you pretty much cover every corner of the world when it comes to it.
Yeah. I'm so coming around to this like idea that these demons are more interdimensional beings, you know, and they've just got the intelligence to sort of travel into our dimension. So like, because we always talk about time being congruent, so like these dimensions are running at exactly the same time as what we're running, but they have the intellect to be able to travel into our dimension. But because humans are so boxed in with their intelligence, we haven't been given a chance to figure out how to travel to other dimensions. I mean, you've got astral projectors and people that astral project. Going to get someone on the show who's done that, and she's met the Anunnaki, she's met the Seraphim, and we're going to talk to her on the show one day, because I think that'll be quite a good show to have, especially with you, because you've seen these things as well and you've studied these things. So that, I think that'll be quite a good debate. But
look at scientists recently; they've discovered that there is a fifth dimension.
5D. Yeah. You mean, we've just had a comment on the Other Dimension page from Vonnie Hunter. She says, laugh at you two are crackers, sat here trying to get it all into my head, then you come out with something really bizarre like the chicken and Bob.
Yeah, the chicken. I think the chicken needs to be a mascot.
Oh, 100%. 100%. We're going to have to get it. We'll have to get Lou to let us an abyssal chicken.
She's not looking impressed. Although I will put up photos as well. Lou does make some really nice Baphomet,
100%
cuddly toys in a sense.
Yeah. So if you're like a true Satanist and you've just had a child, Lou will make you a banging Baphomet to put in your crib.
Yeah. all nice and squishy.
Yes. Yeah. So
the toy.
Yeah. So when we talk about demonic hierarchy, what am I saying? When you talk about demonic hierarchy, where do you sit, and what's your take on demonic hierarchy?
My demonic hierarchy has always been the same. Mine's always been a mixture of the old ways and that lot, because I've always had Baal, Asmon, then you've got Dicarian, Castiana, there's Lilith, and then there is one more in hierarchy system I have, which always confuses a lot of people, and that's Raphael.
Yeah, see, now I can see why that confuses people, because he is angelic in so many people's eyes.
He is, but when you look back on ancient history, they've always been mentioned, them two, as being the peacekeepers. There was reports in Egypt's history, long, obviously way back in the beginning, back on their timeline, of Asmon and Raph fighting in Luxor, and Raph imprisoned as in the second obelisk in the Luxor temple complex.
Yeah.
Now, I've been there before, and it sort of would make sense.
Yeah. It reminds me of the Egyptian battle of Set and what's the other one? Oh God, it's gone blank.
You got Seth and
it's not Horus. It's the other one.
No.
Oh.
Osiris.
God. Yeah, that's it.
Is it
and that's
Osiris?
What Osiris and Set, yeah.
Osiris has his eye ripped out in combat.
Because Osiris was the god of the moon, and Set was the god of the sun, and then they sort of battled it out, and then one got imprisoned in a temple or something. That's what I remember reading.
Yeah, my Egyptology is a bit loose.
Yeah, mine too. I tell you what, I have been coming across quite a lot lately, and I don't know if you've heard of this stuff, but I've been coming across a lot of stories of a demonic called Icarius.
Icarius is brother. Icarius is a brother to Icari. He's part of the elders.
Elders,
I think
and
we call them the ancient ones and stuff like that.
And he is the caretaker of the gates of hell, supposedly.
Yeah.
And go on.
Sorry, go on, mate.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying a lot of people who are associating Icarius at the moment he looks like the Grim Reaper.
Yeah. He is the guard. He's not the Grim Reaper, but he's classified as guardian of portals.
Yeah.
So gateways and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's why he shows as the Grim Reaper, because that's our modern perception of him. Yeah.
We'll go into that a subject. I won't mind bringing that up about how we see demonics and stuff like that. It'd be an interesting subject to bring up.
Yeah, like sort of like modern perception of demonics.
Yeah.
And we can go into like, the backstories of how, like how they were perceived in like ancient Babylon and all these programs like Ancient Aliens and that, but how we perceive them nowadays.
Yeah.
100%, yeah. Definitely do a show on that. But I'm still leaning towards this interdimensional, like it's almost like a realm thing, because we've got so many different, you've got Anunnaki, you've got Seraphim, you've got what's their names? I can't remember now. Yeah, Seraphim, Cherubim, ETs, they come into that as well. I want to do a show on that as well with you, where we look at the Collins Elite.
Yeah.
100%, definitely got doing that. That's almost like demonology meets conspiracy. That's going to be quite a good one.
Yeah, it's all in the same realm, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Right, so as we wrap up the show...
So we've managed to do what we normally do, carry on and forget the time.
Oh yeah, we literally got we're in the last 2.5 minutes, so I just want to quickly pump. Guys, we are here every Saturday, 9 till 10 p.m, and we'll be talking about all things paranormal. If you do want to get involved in the show, or if you want to see any links from the show tonight, head over to Facebook. You can either search The Other Dimension or facebook.com/TOD Paranormal to find all the links and everything that we've been talking about tonight. We'll be putting up after the show. The show will be going out as a podcast and will be featured on the Pulse Talk Radio website. So yeah, that's how we roll.
Nice. And Spotify.
Yeah, it'll be on Spotify. Anywhere you get your podcasts, you'll find us on there. So all you have to do is head over, just type The Other Dimension, and it'll be up and running. So, great debut show. That's all I got to say.
Nice. Looking forward to more.
Oh yeah. So don't forget, catch us here next week, 9 till 10 p.m. on the only place to be, Pulse Talk Radio. We are out of here. Benbo, until next week.
Catch you later, man.
I'll chat to you on the other side. Take it easy, mate.
Bye.
And that's all the listeners out there. Remember, it's not all about this dimension. It's about the other dimension too.
Thank you for joining us on this journey into the world of the paranormal. Don't forget, if you missed the show, it will be available on our podcast. Just search The Other Dimension wherever you get your favorite podcasts. If you have any questions about the show, or you wish to contact the show with your own experiences, just head over to the Facebook group at www.facebook.com/TOD Paranormal.